Miss Smith reads again. School used to be humdrum and boring. Not anymore. Now that Miss Smith was his teacher, Zach looked forward to going every day. Each new day meant Miss Smith would read a different tale from her incredible storybook. This book was like no other. When she read from it, the classroom would change and the story would come alive. And when it was over, everything would whoosh back into the book. Miss Smith would always remind the class when she began to read. Remember, class, don't interfere with the characters, or you'll change the story and it won't end the way it should. The story has to end, otherwise it won't go back into the book. One day, Miss Smith said, "Today we have a very special story. Arthur Conan Doyle's The Lost World." Zach was so excited because this story was about dinosaurs. Zach loved dinosaurs. As soon as Miss Smith started to read, the classroom began to change into the deepest, steamiest, most remote jungle of the Amazon. Then the class found themselves on a fallen tree that bridged the gap between the outside world and the steep cliffs of the plateau that was called the Lost World. "Don't look down," Zach warned as one by one they crossed over. When they reached the other side, they could feel the air was different. They heard strange bellowing sounds echoing through the trees, and they saw some men off in the distance threading their way through the prehistoric rainforest. Two of them wore khaki suits and helmets and carried backpacks. "Who are they?" asked Sue Ann. "They're dinosaur hunting explorers," answered Miss Smith. "Remember, don't bother them, because you'll change the story, and it may not end the way it should." They followed along until they came close enough to hear the two explorers arguing. Miss Smith and the class hid in the bushes and listened. "Professor Challenger, it is impossible for dinosaurs to still exist." "There is simply no evidence," said the tall explorer. "Professor Summerlee, I beg to disagree," answered the short one. As Challenger and Summerlee continued their heated debate, a huge Tyrannosaurus Rex stole up behind them. Zach's eyes stared at the jagged fangs of the T-Rex. But before Miss Smith could stop him, Zach screamed, "Look out behind you!"